Hey folks, Ben the Bondsman here. I am about to start a small series, and I guess I'm going to call it The Life of a Bounty Hunter or The Life of a Bondsman. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But anyway, this is just kind of the intro video to that small series. And the purpose of it is to kind of bring people into the real side of what I do for a living rather than the mystique and the glamour of Hollywood. And I'll be honest with you, there's not a whole lot of excitement in it. I'm going to try to make it as interesting as I possibly can, but I want people to see what I really do. And I've been concentrating on some of my other business ventures, so the bonding side of things has the work's been stacking up, is the best way I can put it. So now it's time for me to gear up. Now, if you talk to 10 different bondsmen, bail enforcement agents, bounty hunters, you'll get 10 different methods, 10 different ways of doing things, 10 different preferences. We all have our own way of doing our job. My way may work for me, but it may not work for the next guy, and his way may not work for me. There's a lot of variables there, the kind of equipment we carry. I mean, there are some similarities, but for the most part, it's all agent specific or even company specific, because one company may have, I don't know, 10 guys available at any given time to go out and look for somebody, while another company may only have one or two, most often two, but quite often one. So we give different appearances and different. We use different tools at our disposal. The power of suggestion is one of our biggest tools. Anyway, I'll get into that in later videos. The reason I said that is because you're about to see what kind of gear I'm about to pack. Now, this isn't my gear that I wear on a day-to-day basis and to knock on every door, because it wouldn't work if I did. But if I need to give the appearance that I am more prepared to deal with trouble, then this is my gear bag, and this is the gear that I would use to give that appearance. And usually there'd be more than one person getting out of the vehicle wearing the same gear. But if I wanted to give the appearance that I'm your friend, I'm here to help, then I'm going to wear something, blue jeans, polo shirt, something a little more dressed down. And, there's a lot of different methods and a lot of different ways to do what I do. This is just my take on it. This is some of the equipment that I use, and it's really a preference thing. There's no right or wrong answer. So the first piece of gear I'm going to throw in this bag is my agent vest. It's an identifier vest, but it's also a bulletproof vest. It's got identifier tabs on the front and back. And now different states have different laws as to what you're allowed to wear, what you're allowed to carry, and things like that. Fortunately for me, Mississippi is a very good state to do my job in, because we're not over-regulated in a lot of ways. I know a lot of people might think we are, but if they've never done any work in other states, then they can't really appreciate the flexibility we have here in Mississippi. The other thing that I'm loading up here is my inner belt. And the inner belt goes to the full duty rig that you would see a typical law enforcement officer wearing. Now, I would wear the duty rig more often than I would the vest, especially if I'm running by myself. If I'm running by myself, I want to give the appearance that I am more equipped, or not really even the appearance. I want to let somebody know I am equipped to do my job here. And it's a huge visual deterrent. And these are just belt keepers that hold the big belt to the little belt. But one thing I also carry is a spare regular belt. So if I leave the house wearing this stuff and I get into a position where I need to, tone it down a little bit, I can. Some people will wear these inner belts as their regular belts, but I can't. That doesn't work for me. And then a few little odds and ends. I've got my shackle restraint system. If I'm doing a long distance trip from somewhere with somebody, I want them to be able to ride comfortably as you can in handcuffs. You don't want to bring somebody on a 10-hour trip or 8-hour trip with their hands cuffed behind their backs. Not only is it very, I would say, almost inhumane, but can cause you some legal difficulties in our line of work. And of course, I bring extra magazines for my everyday carry. And this belt system, this duty rig, has magazines on it for the weapon that goes in this holster, which is not the one I carry every day. The one I carry every day is the compact version of the Glock that goes in there. So always keep a neck lanyard handy, and a few other things that, tape recorder that I keep in my vest for documentation reasons. I keep some light surveillance gear. What have I? Oh, there it is. Here's a Radio Shack model FM wireless receiver for the microphone that's on my vest. You see in the videos that you see the cop standing outside of his patrol car, and you can hear what the cop and the person that they're interviewing is saying. It's the same setup where I can record both sides of the conversation clearly and safely, and that recording is stored in my locked vehicle rather than on a tape recorder in my pocket, because what if something were to happen and the tape recorder in my pocket were to come up missing? So I always have a secondary backup for that. So that's just a brief preview of what's to come. I'm really shooting in the dark on this, so I'd really love some viewer interaction on this, some suggestions, questions you might have, what you'd like to see discussed, what topics are you most curious about, and I'll do my very best to answer those questions. But one thing you need to realize is I'm in Mississippi. What I'm allowed to do, the laws I have to follow, and you know, even the local politics that I have to deal with law enforcement and court systems are going to be very, very different from any other state in the United States. So I can answer questions and give things from my perspective, but believe me when I tell you, it's not a end all for the bail bond bounty hunting business. It's only my perspective, my opinion, because I am certainly no expert in the matter, but I will tell you that I've been doing this job for over 12 years. I've been actively in this business for over 12 years. So I do have a little bit of credibility there. I've never been arrested for anything I've done in the line of duty. I've never been fined or even reprimanded for anything I've ever done. So that's a pretty good track record for me, in my opinion anyway. So that's all I've got for now. Please feel free to comment, ask questions, and be involved. And I'll figure out the direction I'm going to go with this thing as it goes. It's going to be a very fluid process. Anyway, Ben the Bondsman signing out.